And that's why it is so important. You hear all these people in the spiritual community saying, just go out into nature, just go out into nature. But why go out into nature? What does that mean? Well, I'm going to tell you why. It's because as we go into these higher electromagnetic frequencies, which are natural, it's going to be a really, really good idea to stay away from the unnatural electromagnetic frequencies, which are bombarding you at all times, like 5G, Wi-Fi, which do get in the way of you encoding these incredible energies which are coming in, which are going to change your DNA and so on and so forth. So the more you can get into nature and ground, because you are a conduit physical body bringing these energies down from space, from the cosmos, down into your body and through into Gaia, the more you're going to help Gaia, the more you're going to be able to ground, and the better it is going to be for you. Please don't forget to subscribe to my Telegram channel. The link is down below, because that's where you're going to be able to get all the information that you can't get here. I'll see you there. So just in a nutshell, the Schumann resonance is what measures the electromagnetic frequency, which is in the ionosphere from where you stand on the ground. That's from where your feet are to 30 miles above us. The ionosphere is the electromagnetic sphere, which is charged with ions, positive and negative. And it's also where radio frequencies are able to correspond and play and bounce around the heavens. It's like a conduit. So it's like a soup that allows a lot of the radio frequencies and the things that we know about and the satellite activity to bounce around through these particles so that we can send it and receive it. And it's also changing our DNA. So as we go up in frequency and our electrical biochemistry changes inside of ourselves, we are going to go up in frequency as well. And we are going to become antennas. So you'll get more clairvoyance. You'll be able to have telepathy, because we also will become like satellite dishes and radio masts. We will be transmitting and receiving as well as our abilities click on. So I want to show you a little bit what a graph looks like, and just how to measure it, and a little bit about brain waves and things before we go into it, because people are feeling the ascension symptoms as the Schumann resonance is really peaking, and it is really quite important to understand this going forward. There are some people in the New Age spiritual community who are downloading Schumann Resonance app on their phone, and they are getting correlations sometimes between ascension symptoms and things that doctors can't seemingly find when there are big peaks and troughs in the Schumann resonance on the graph that I'm about to show you. So we'll have a quick look at that, amongst many other things. So let's just have a quick look at a Schumann resonance graph, because it's quite interesting. Some people do correlate ascension symptoms with when you do get these peaks, so people enjoy looking at them. If you look at the top, usually when you get a graph like this, you've got the date at the top. On the left-hand side, what you've got is the frequency range. If you look at 7.8 hertz, that is the heartbeat of the Earth. That is what the heartbeat of the Earth has been since recorded human history for a very, very long time, up until recently when we've been getting these massive peaks. So you can see it's going up, and we're going to be talking about today also brain chemistry and the brain waves, which is massively affected by this. And I'll be going on to that in a little bit. But you've got the hertz, and if you look at the right-hand side, you've got low intensity, normal, and high intensity. So if you look at the graph, you've got a massive white peak with massive high intensity. So we're getting these massive peaks that are coming in more and more, which are going above the base level of 7.8. And this is a recent thing. It's quite incredible. First time in recorded human history, or certainly for at least 50,000 years since Lemuria. Now, as of late, we've been getting more and more and more of these huge spikes. And usually when this happens, people are getting the heart palpitations. They're getting very, very tired. They're getting dizzy. Your memory's changing. You're getting DNA upgrades. And there are things which trigger the Schumann resonance. So we're going to be coming on to that in a little bit. But our brain adaptability is also changing. So we are changing with the frequencies of Earth, and it's triggering mass awakenings also. So if you look at the brain frequency spectrum, we're going into a higher frequency. So it's quite important to understand that as bigger energies come in, it's going to push us into higher frequencies, and higher frequencies of brain activity is going to change our bioelectrical spectrum and the nervous system. That's why we're getting ascension symptoms and all kinds of other good things. Let's go back to the graph for a little bit of a second and just have a look at a few of the details before I come onto the brain frequencies and where we're going with consciousness. So if you look to the right hand side, there's a color scale about what's going on to show you how to look at this graph. Now this graph is an older graph, this is just to show you how it works, but if you look at blue, this is low intensity radiation that is surrounding us at all times. Then we go to green, which is fairly normal. Green is 7.8. This is the standard heartbeat of Mother Earth that's been going on for a very, very long time. Now in recent years, but especially in the past couple of months and the last couple of days, increasingly, we are looking at these much more intense electromagnetic energy bursts that are happening in the ionosphere, which are plasmic excitations. So massive energies coming in and gamma rays. Now there is a symbiosis between the bioelectrical fields and magnets of the body and the environment that we live in. If you look at some of the leaked files from the CIA about secret space programs, volunteers went off with ETs to other planets because the magnetics of that Earth or that biosphere that they went to go and live on were not the same, were drastically different. A lot of them didn't survive. Now, these are leaked files that people in the community know about, and I have had the pleasure of reading them. But it is very, very important that if you were going to go and inhabit another planet or go and visit another civilization or an ET place or anywhere in the universe, the magnetics and the electromagnetic field around you and the magnetics of the planet have to be similar to the biochemistry and the nervous system within your body to facilitate life. Because if there is a mismatch, it won't work. And that's partly why we had the harmonic convergence in 1987 on the 16th of August, which was about a preempt organization of the magnetics changing in alignment for the imminence of us arriving, hopefully that we didn't blow ourselves up, so that the magnetics would be correct for our biocircuitry to adapt if and when we would cross the marker in 2012, which we did, so that our body could adapt to the changes that were happening in Earth magnetosphere, and the magnetics started changing in the harmonic convergence. And that's when you start getting Google Earth and the magnetic resonances that set the GPRS systems for the whole world, which started shifting massively off balance and then having to realign it because ships were going off course. And of course, we've had dolphins and whales and birds migrating to wrong places as well. So studies have actually proven to show that the Schumann Resonance frequencies, or the SR frequencies, have particular effects on the human brain and the nervous system, the cardiovascular system, the nervous system, the circadian rhythms, the immune function, the DNA, and so much more. Now, beyond your DNA actually upgrading from the inside out, all of these new energies are changing your circadian rhythms. So some people are having a real tough time sleeping, and others are just feeling exhausted in general because there is an entire new evolution of conscious energies coming in externally that your body is having to rewire to overnight. So that's why people are feeling absolutely shattered at this moment in time, because you are catching up with the new circadian rhythms and the new day and night, the new energetic patterns of an Earth, of a new Earth, of an ascended planet. But more interestingly enough, your third eye chakra is going to be becoming slowly blasted open as circadian rhythms change. Melatonin is going to be changing as well, which is produced by the pineal gland. So you're going to become more clairvoyant. Take a look at this. Melatonin is the only known hormone synthesized by the pineal gland and is released in response to darkness and nighttime. Melatonin provides a circadian and seasonal signal to the organism's invertebrates. Now, science knows that human consciousness is expanding, although the establishment might not want to tell you this because they don't want to lose control and they don't want everyone on the planet suddenly becoming claircognizant and remote viewing and God knows what else, because they would lose control overnight. But it can be scientifically proven and registered and quantified in terms of brainwaves. So we know brainwaves are changing and we're going up into the higher registers of brainwaves. We're becoming like a tuning fork. And as you gong a tuning fork over here and it starts gonging, and you put another tuning fork next to it, it starts to take on the frequency of the same vibration. I will come on to that in a minute. So our brain waves are changing. Our brain frequency waves are changing. We're getting more clair abilities coming in, claircognizance and clairaudience. And as you go up into the higher frequencies, your clairaudience, the perception of being able to supposedly hear what is inaudible, is switching on, and you're getting the ringing in the ear because you're going into the higher brain waves. And let's take a look at what that looks like. Behind me is a map of human consciousness registered in terms of brain waves. Now, science knows when you go into a very deep meditative state, or you become very highly empathic, you go into these higher states. And when we're getting these massive energy influxes coming in, we are going into these higher states. And this is an explanation of how it works. Now, with the energy that we've had in human history, with the Schumann Resonance sitting at about 7.83, our brain waves have been nestling somewhere in between alpha and theta, right in the middle. But we are expanding, and we're going much higher into beta and gamma much more often. And with the big triggers coming in from all the CMEs and the cosmic radiation and everything, we're jumping up there much, much more often. Now, an expanded consciousness will be in much higher beta and consistently gamma as we go forward. Now, as we said, the Schumann resonance for a long time has been 7.8. So if you look at alpha brain waves, they generally fall into 8 to 12 hertz. Natural heartbeat, or the rhythm of the earth energetically, has been 7.8, and that falls right into the middle of it. So the alpha brain wave has been where consciousness has been sat for a very, very long time. It is considered a common state during alertness, but not actively processing information. Alpha has been linked to creativity, and creative people show alpha when listening to music or coming to a solution and mental work. Alpha activity is also associated with overall mental mind-body coordination, calmness, alertness, and learning. Beta brain waves correlate with the Schumann resonance as it goes up from 14, 20, and up to 26 hertz. So beta reflects highly active processing. It occurs during normal waking consciousness and outward attention. Slow beta, between usually 12 to 17, is normal information processing and mental activity, and fast beta is 17 to 30, is heightened alertness and some potentially even fight or flight or even anxiety. So as we are shifting through the brain states, we can get this anxious feeling, this wired feeling, like something is coming, like we've got to move on something, like whatever it is coming, the truth is coming. And it's partly because of the brain waves that we're going through as we are shifting through the energy. So there's this feeling like it's about to come, it's about to arrive, and we can feel anxious as we are processing through the energies. And then when we get these massive spikes that are coming in, when you're looking at the graph that I showed you at the beginning of this video with those big white peaks, we are looking at the gamma brain waves which are being triggered. And the gamma is a very, very interesting place because 30 hertz to 100 hertz corresponds with the Schumann resonance all the way up to 59 hertz and beyond. And this is associated with waking states and occur when you are simultaneously processing information in both brain hemispheres. And whales and dolphins operate in this frequency. So this gives you a bit of an idea of what is happening to the body and the brain, and the heart. The heart palpitations, your bioelectrical circuitry inside you is changing. It's being stimulated, and that's why you get some of these heart electric shocks and palpitations. The energies come in, they're very strong, which is partly created by energies from our central sun, also the Alcyon Palladian system, which our solar system is going round, and we're also going into the photonic belt, and we're getting the CMEs, which are being triggered by all of this, our coronal mass ejections, which are coming from our sun, and also energies from the central sun. So we are awakening, we're getting external helps as well. So I'm Alexander Quinn. This is probably enough information just for this time. I will see you next time. But this is what's happening with these big energies coming in. This is why it's affecting you, is why you're getting ascension symptoms. And I will be coming out with more videos, and there'll be another video next week. And give yourself a big pat on the back because you're going through these symptoms and it's incredible. And the body's feeling it. So look after yourself, eat light, rest, and drink lots of water. And I'll be back next week. Much love. Ciao.